with strict Mormon parents, I have a few crazy stories that involve boys, so I figured I could share a few. I'm a little nervous. I think my parents know most of these. There's definitely a few they don't know about, and there's definitely a few snitches on this app. So we'll see if I survive after this. I'll start with the one I kind of mentioned in my other video. Me and my sister would always hang out with these two boys. It was a known thing my parents did not like these boys. To be honest, I don't know how they ever even found out these boys existed, due to the fact that every time we hung out with them, we told my parents we were hanging out with a fake girl's name that they thought was one of our girlfriends, and we would just go to the guy's house and hang out. I don't know how they even know these people exist, but they do. So one time we were hanging out with them. I don't know what our curfew was, I wish I did, but it was probably around like 10:30, 11, somewhere around there. We're hanging out with these boys. We decided we want to see a movie. We know dang well this movie is going to go well past our curfew, but we do it anyway because I don't know that we ever made it home on time this entire summer. This is probably the rockiest summer with our parents because we were just absolutely insane. I'm gonna say it's past like 1 o'clock in the morning and we're at this movie. Our phones are obviously being blown up, but we just ignore that. Our excuse was always that we fell asleep watching a movie and that we didn't know the time. So finally the movie gets over and we're like, okay, we hurry, have to go home. And keep in mind, we still have to go drop off these boys and then go home. So there was a lot of time before we even getting home and our parents were already pissed. My sister starts backing out. She rear ends another parked car. Bro, we died. So that means we had to go home at probably 1:30, 2:30 in the morning, I don't know, and tell our parents why we're so late to curfew and how she got in a crash. So we get home already expecting it to be the worst night of our lives, and our parents want to look through our phones. Keep in mind, this is the first time they've ever gone through our phones. They've never once cared about what's on our actual phones. Like, they would take them and everything, but they've never gone in them. We were like, oh my gosh. I tried playing it cool, so they went through mine, didn't find anything, but my sister was absolutely tweaking about them going through hers, so I think they looked a little farther into hers. They found our exact plans with these boys about lying about being at the movie theaters, about being with these two boys, saw their names, and let's just say we did not see our phones for multiple days, maybe weeks, and we sure as hell did not hang out. But like you could imagine, we finessed every moment of our lives. So during these like grounded moments, we would obviously have our backup phones. So we would text these boys and we would text my best friend. My best friend lives a few houses away. She was also friends with these boys. So while we were grounded, we'd be like, hey mom, dad, we're going on a walk. And then we all meet up at my friend's house. We'd all just hang out. I don't know how we did it, but we always finessed. Another story with these same boys. We were at a park close to my house. This is one of the scenarios where my parents just thought it was me and my sister alone, but it very much went sideways. Long story short, I don't know how the cops ended up being called on us. I don't know if someone saw just like 4 kids at a park and thought we were doing something wrong. Genuinely weren't doing anything. But a cop pulls up. So we were all sitting on the curb getting talked to by a cop. We see people walking up. Guess who it is? My parents. They saw our location and we were past curfew, so they decided to come pick us up, and they walked up to cops with the boys they told us to stop hanging out with. Very, very awkward situation. I think the downfall to all of these stories is curfew. Because other than those times, I don't know that they were like catching us being with boys. It was more, we literally just did not get home on time. We didn't want to go home from hanging out. This one time me and my sister were hanging out with another group of boys. You can't tell me and my sister didn't like hanging out with boys alone, so we found pairs. We're hanging out at one of the guys' house. And this time I will say we were watching a movie. Kind of lost track of time. Let me check our phones and they're obviously getting blown up. And they're like, get home now. Our movie wasn't finished. And like, do you ever really want to go home from hanging out? Like, I don't know. So we ignored them, and I fear we ended up staying at this boy's house till 3:30 in the morning. Our parents surprisingly went to sleep, but the next morning was not a good morning. It was also Sunday morning, so we knew dang well we had to be on time to church. This next story my parents know about, but we've never actually like talked about it, so it's a little awkward. My parents were on vacation. Obviously the house was empty. Obviously I was like, okay, my friend's gonna sleep over, and then we invited these two boys to come over. I think we ended up like watching a movie, and then I think they left at probably like 3 in the morning. We have cameras and everything, so I have a hard time believing that my parents didn't even know about that right in the moment. But I never got in trouble for that for some reason. I just saw another story as I was editing this. Saturday night in the previous week, I had gotten in trouble again due to my curfew because I was hanging out with a guy. Didn't get back on time, right? The next Saturday rolls around and I'm obviously grounded. So I'm just at home with my sister. The guy texts me and he's with his friend. He was like, hey, I'm in the area. Me and my friend are gonna come get you. And me and my sister were very close with these guys. Spoiler alert. It was my guy from the first 2 stories and then his friend who went to my school. All my friends knew my sister. Me and my sister are very close. We all just kind of intertwined, you know? Anyway, not important. So I text back, I'm like, I'm grounded. They're like, it doesn't matter, we're coming. So next thing you know, they're parked outside my house. So me and my sister decide to finesse. And somehow we convinced my parents to be fine with us sitting outside, in their car outside of our house. My parents were like, you cannot leave the house. Like, if they saw us drive away, we'd be grounded. Even more. We go out to this car and literally hung out for a while just outside our house. We ended up texting my sister who was inside the house, told her to turn off the cameras. We drove away for a little bit. That story just always kills me because what do you mean you're fine with us sitting outside the house with boys, but we can't like be at their house? It was so weird. This is one about me being alone. My parents didn't like that I was talking to this guy. So one day we're like, okay, we're gonna skip. I go over to his house, probably during 6th period. Trust me, I had my location paused at the school. Then a few hours passed and I was still at his house, probably at like 5 o'clock. So I unpaused my location and put it at the boy's house. So I was like, I'm 15, like I could be hanging out with my girlfriend, so I can't be hanging out with this guy. Now that I say 15, this is a little crazy because the first 2 stories happened when I was like 14. I was a bad kid. Or was I 13? I don't know. So I guess it triggered my mom that I was at this kid's house. Instead of texting me and being like, hey, you need to come home, that psychopath. I'm editing this and realized I got the story wrong. So my mom didn't reach out to me. She decided to reach out to my best friend's mom. And the mom obviously said, no, she's not with my daughter. And I wish I could remember this better, but it was like 3 years ago. All I remember is the guy I was with, his mom came into his room and said, hey, Madison, your mother is wondering where you are and she's about to be here. Please tell me how she got a hold of this woman. They do not know each other. That's actually still a mystery. I might ask my mom tomorrow. Like, he was expecting to hang out the whole day or just take me home at some point. I'd walk to my mom's car. You would think after a guy sees that you kind of have crazy parents when it comes to boys. Trust me, I'm close to my parents, I swear. You would think they'd like run, but it literally never phases any of them. The more stories I think about are more recent, so my parents started chilling out, but it was just kind of like I was always so late to curfew because one time me and my friend went and did a bonfire like 45 minutes away with these 2 guys, and I was like an hour late to curfew. Since that only happened like a year ago, I was older, so they weren't like going through my phone or grounding me, you know? Is this kind of a lame video? I literally just think I was always late. I had a few months where I'd go to this guy's house like every weekend. I was just late every time coming back from that, but seriously, it didn't affect anyone. Like, they could go to bed. So I never understood curfew. I do have one pretty crazy story about like going on a trip with boys, but my parents don't know about that, and I'm really scared of who sees these videos. So I don't know that I'm very confident in sharing that, but I want to because it's hilarious. This is bumming me out because I know I have crazy stories. They're not coming to my head. I'll make another video if I remember.
Story time and get ready with me because you guys love drama. Okay, so I used to be friends with this girl. She was like really sweet, but then she like started copying everything that I did. And she used to copy me for like the weirdest things ever. Like, let's say I got like a hoodie, right? And then the next day she'd have the same hoodie. Or like I changed my profile picture, the next day she'd have the same profile picture. And like, it obviously bothered me, but it didn't bother me enough to like bring it up because it wasn't that serious. But then one day I told her that I liked this guy. Just to let you guys know ahead of time, this guy that I liked, she did not know him. He was a family friend from my mom's side of the family, and I really got to know him well. And then we kind of started, it was like a little situationship type of thing. So basically one day me and him were hanging out, and I asked to look through his phone because I didn't want to start anything serious with somebody that I couldn't trust. And of course he said yes, because he said he didn't have anything to hide. So I looked through his phone, right? And then I opened Snapchat. And I didn't see anything necessarily wrong. Like, he was texting his like friends, like his guy friends and me. But then I scrolled down and I saw my name. But my name was at the top. And I look through these messages with me, and I had no memory of texting any of this to him, and I did not have a second account on Snapchat, so I got really confused, and I showed him, and I was like, who is this? Then he was like, is that not you? You told me that that was your account for your iPad. And I was just like, I don't have an iPad, so I don't know where you got that from. Then I started to get really confused because maybe he like thought that it was somebody else, like it was my account with someone else's name. But why would that person tell him that that was my account on my iPad? Then I started getting like really curious, so I decided to search up the username on my phone to see who this was. I thought it might have been like one of his friends pretending to be me or something to see like how we text each other and like make fun of us. I searched it up, and you know how when you have a contact on Snapchat, their name shows up instead of the name they put their name as on Snapchat. My best friend's name was there. Then I was like really confused and like scared for my life. Like, what is happening? Is somebody like trolling? Is she trolling? Later found out, checked the account a little bit out more. She was using our photos together, cropped herself out of the photos to be me on Snapchat to text my crush, basically. I later found out, like a couple days later, found out that she was like very obsessed with me. I don't know why she'd be obsessed with me out of all the people, like, but she was. And it really sucked because we were friends since like elementary school, and I just like had to drop her, one of my best friends, because she was just being weird. So I don't recommend staying friends with someone that copies you, but it gets to a point, and she'd reached that point. So bye guys, let me know if you want more story times.
Get ready with me while I tell you how I found out I was pregnant at 61 backwards. Okay, so I actually found out, I found out before I missed my period because I just knew. Like, I just knew. Okay, so I was already nervous and telling him that I already had a gut feeling, and he was just like trying to reassure me, obviously, because nobody wants to be in that situation. So he was like, you're okay, like, this happened before. Nothing was wrong, obviously. I was like, okay, you're right. You're wrong. Okay, so I had work after this, actually, and I was in the bathtub because I was taking a bath before work. I was really tired. This was one of the things that I freaking wish I would have like paid more attention to. I was sleeping in classes. Not even ever a nap person, but I was sleeping in every single class period, coming home and still sleeping. Obviously something was up. So I was in the bathtub and I was like, no, I need to buy a test today. So that's exactly what I did. So I took it in the subway bathroom because that's where I work. I'm getting ready for work right now. So I took it in the bathroom. I FaceTimed him. I took it on the phone with him. Before I could even wipe, it was positive. And I was in so much shock. I wish I would have filmed my reaction. But I ran out of that bathroom to my coworker and I was like, is this positive? Is this positive? My boyfriend crying, sobbing on the phone. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but this was you too. Okay, so it never really hit me for a couple of days. And so it was kind of just funny to me while he was like upset. And then once he kind of got like used to it, I guess, he was fine. He was excited. I'm like, why are you excited? So I was really sad for a couple of weeks because like I was terrified and he's excited. So that made us clash a little bit. And then we didn't tell anybody for months. Like, it was like 3 months. We went to prom. Nobody knew. I told like a friend or two and my sister, and that was it. So nobody knew. This was a whole big secret. I felt alone. And I wanted to get cheesecake so bad. I don't know why. I always wanted cheesecake all the time. And my dad made a joke and he was like, oh, your period's coming. And I was like, I missed that. I didn't say that, obviously, but it was definitely coming to my head. I tested like 8 million times after this because I just like couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, this is not real. Like, it's not. It is in fact real now, obviously. And if y'all have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them in another video if you just comment them under this post. Honestly, my boyfriend, I think, reacted the best out of anybody. And, well, I mean, my sister too, but I think she was just in disbelief. She didn't believe it. Like, she would not believe it. She kept telling me that it was false positives. And that is honestly pretty much how I found out. Like, it was nothing too crazy. I don't know. It's just nothing crazy. But if you want to know how our parents reacted or other people reacted, or what happens at school. I don't know. I'm more than welcome to share. Alright, that is all. Thank you for watching.
Get ready with me while I talk about the time that my teacher got beat up by a student. A little background on this teacher. She was clearly a racist. There was a time when these two kids were fighting in the hallway, and one of them called the other kid the N-word, and she ran out there and said, "Don't say," and then said the N-word. Another thing is, like, I was one of maybe 3 or 5 white kids in our class, and I thought that she favored the white kids over, like, the kids that were not white, or the POC kids. Like, basically, there was one time when this white kid broke a light in our classroom, and this black kid went to go fix it, like actually fix the light, and she blamed it on the black kid and said that he broke the light, even though he was fixing it. So, yeah. But she was also one of those teachers that was like, she was so like trying to keep her job alive. And there was one time that me and my entire class were like putting all our fists together and being like, "Oh my gosh, Power Rangers," or whatever. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to take a photo. This is like so empowering, so equality. Like, oh my gosh, guys, this is like amazing." And she probably like posted on her Facebook and was like, "Guys, look at my classroom, just so united." And it was like, you literally just said that word. Oh, also, she had to leave for 3 months after she said the N-word, and no one missed her. No one really cared. And then, like, when she was about to come back, she sent an email that was like, "Thanks for all the support." And I was like, who is supporting that? No one supported you. Anyways, moving on to her getting beat up. So we were in class, and we were all in our lab stations, which were basically on the corners of the classroom, or they were like on the edges of the classroom. And we were all in them doing like a worksheet on like Pangea or something. We were like piecing together. The point is, we were all minding our business. She was at the front of the classroom, and out of nowhere, like in the silent classroom, all of a sudden, this girl comes sprinting in, like full speed, Lightning McQueen. Like, she was not stopping for no one. She should be on the track team. She ran up to the teacher, and with no words, no context, nothing, just starts beating and kicking and punching and kicking and like all that stuff. Like, she was not stopping. And like, you might think that maybe like we would try to go help her, like our teacher, but we didn't want to. We didn't like her. And also, that girl was not gonna stop for anyone. Like, I'm pretty sure that if we got involved, we would have gotten kicked and punched too. Like, and she was strong. Like, she was really hitting her. And another thing is, the girl that was beating her up was a special education student, and she had like an adult walk around with her all the time. And I thought that woman was like probably gonna try to step in and be like, "Hey, don't kick her, don't punch her." She did nothing. She literally just like stood right behind her and just like wrote down on her clipboard. And I was like, okay. We just all kind of watched from our lab stations, like trying to see what was like going on. And then eventually the girl like fully like swung her leg back, like as if she was a like striker about to like kick it into the goal or whatever, and like roundhouse kicked our teacher's knee that she just got surgery on. So she like fell down to the floor in pain. She was crying, she was sobbing, and she was like, "Oh, that really, really hurt. That really hurt." Like in like that exact voice. And so we were like, okay, she's not actually hurt. She's just like doing this so that the girl feels bad. I guess the girl was satisfied. Like, she was fine with it then, because she just walked out. Like, she had no, like, she literally just went in there, beat her up, and then just left. Like, it was honestly kind of iconic. Then my teacher is like hobbled over in pain, crying, sobbing, and we're just kind of on the edges, and we're like, should we do anything? And we were like, do you want us to call someone? And she was like, obviously, what is wrong with you? And so we tried pressing the emergency call button, and that thing did not work. We pressed it twice, it did nothing. So that's not really great, and probably something that like should be handled by the school. Like, I feel like that should be working, but whatever. We waited like a long time because we thought maybe it would just take forever for them to work. But since it didn't work, then eventually these two girls were like, okay, I guess we'll go down to the office and like go see if someone can help. And so these two girls went down to the office and tried to go get someone. And we were all just waiting in the room. She was still crying, and like some people were doing their assignment. Like we were just like, whatever. Eventually, like 10 minutes passed. I swear, it was like a long time. And so I was like, that's kind of weird. So I went down to go see what was going on, and I see the girls coming back up the stairs, and they're like, they're not getting anyone. Like they're not getting the nurse. They don't really care. Like they're just like kind of like hanging out, figuring out what to do. And I was like, okay, that's really weird. Eventually they decided to get someone, and they didn't get the nurse. They didn't get like someone who was trained to help. Instead they got the dean of students. They got like the guy that makes sure that kids aren't skipping. Why? I don't know. This guy is like coming up, and he comes into her class, and he's like, oh shoot, that's really bad. Yeah, I guess we'll have to go get the nurse or something. Yeah, you think? Like she's like hobbled over. Eventually the nurse comes. Also, when they were coming up the stairs, like they were not like hustling to go help her. They were like walking up. They were just like, oh my gosh, I have to do this again. Like they did not care. The nurse came, and she was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to like call 911, and we're gonna have to get you on a stretcher, and we're gonna have to like bring you to the hospital and all that stuff. And we're still just like in the classroom watching, like we're doing nothing. I'm pretty sure one girl recorded it. There's no students like, you guys can't be in here because you don't have a teacher, so all of you have to go down to the cafeteria. So we all had to go down to the cafeteria and just sit in there for the rest of the day because this was the last period. So like we just had to sit in there, and they're supposed to have like a teacher with us. They didn't. They had no one in there with us, and that was really concerning. Honestly, I don't know how that school got away with that. Like with all this stuff that's happened, like the emergency call button didn't work, and like the person that was helping the girl that was beating up my teacher like didn't do anything, and also like they didn't have a teacher with us down. Like I don't know how the school was getting away with all that stuff, but they like had a bunch of rules implemented next year. So then as we're in the cafeteria, we start hearing the sirens come, and we're like, okay, they finally came, and the bell rings for school to finish, and everyone, like, I went to the back to go see the buses, but a bunch of people were in the front of the school, and like everyone saw her in like a stretcher going to the hospital, and I feel like some people were upset, and probably the teachers, but like no one was that upset because this was after she said the N-word, and everyone was kind of just like, okay, the racist teacher has to go to the hospital, like whatever. So yeah, no one was really that upset. And then she came back like the next day. So was it really that bad if you came back the next day? She came back the next day in crutches, and then the day after that she was fine. Like she didn't have crutches anymore. Whatever. She told us she was fine. She's like, guys, I'm okay. I'm gonna be back. But it's also like no one really cared if you weren't gonna come back, because when she was gone for 3 months because she said the N-word, we had subs like every single day, and that was like the best time of my entire life. Like that was actually the best class of my entire life, when we had a sub every single day. We played heads up like every single day, and I have videos from that still. Like it was so much fun. We didn't learn anything, but like it was 7th grade science, so like we all know that now. So like yeah. So I'm pretty sure the teacher is still there, and I'm pretty sure most people still hate her, and I'm pretty sure that like the 80 people that are gonna, like less than 80 people that are gonna watch this have probably had her, because like only like people that are my friends see my videos. So like honestly, you probably had her, you probably knew her, and you might have a picture of her on a stretcher. But it was really funny, and I really I love telling the story, and I don't care that she got hurt because she was really racist, and we could all see it. I did forget to mention that we never end up finding out why the girl wanted to beat her up so badly. I mean, like, yeah, she was racist, so like maybe the girl was like heard about that and was like, oh, I don't like racists. So that's could have been a reason, but we never found out. I never know. I still to this day don't know why it happened. But yeah, don't try to find the teacher unless you already know who she is. I mean, you could probably find her with like a Google search, but like maybe her knee's better now. We'll see.
Get ready with me to get dumped. So it all started a few months ago. I moved in with my boyfriend and his family in May, and it's now late July. And I've been living there ever since. Things have been going pretty well. I did get super depressed the past few weeks, just because I miss my family. I miss living with them. I miss being free, being able to drink, just live my life without being judged. So, I got super depressed, and I was like barely getting out of bed. I felt like I couldn't do anything. I was just constantly like breaking down and crying like all the time. So I told my boyfriend and his family, and they said it was okay for me to go home and stay for a little bit. They said, do what you need to do, feel better, and come back when you feel better. So the plan was for me to go back Wednesday, which is tomorrow. But a couple days ago, I got that text from my boyfriend, and it pretty much said like we need to talk conversation. And yeah, so I was like, like, we've been together for 10 months, haven't had a ton of issues, just like basic things, basic miscommunications. We've always been able to talk it out pretty well. He's normally felt like he can talk to me about things, and I've always made it to where he can talk to me about things. So it's weird that all of a sudden I leave, and then all of a sudden he has things to say, and he hasn't been saying them. He's had pent up feelings, and he hasn't been saying them. Well, for one, why haven't you been saying them? Two, why did you wait until I needed a break and I went home to spend time with my family to finally bring those things up? And three, are you sure these feelings are actually coming from you, or are they coming from your mom or someone from the church? Because the church acts like they like me, but it's a Pentecostal church and they're very judgmental, and I've always felt very judged being there. I've always been seen as like I've always felt like I can't do enough to please them. The pastor pulled me aside one day after church, and he pretty much said, I think you're depressed, and I hope that you get out of your funk. Which, like, granted, okay, like, you're the pastor, I see that you can see that, okay, but the thing is why were you staring at me during praise and worship? Am I not praising and worshiping in the right way? Am I not doing it enough? Like, what am I doing wrong, okay? And then the assistant pastor, his wife has had an issue with me ever since that she saw my back tattoo, which I do. I have a very large back tattoo, and it has a snake in it. And apparently that church has said since then that they view snakes as the devil, which I get because the Adam and Eve thing. But I have a snake because I like snakes, not because I worship the devil, not because of anything doing with the devil. I just like snakes, so I got a snake wrapping around a spine, and I got my mom and sister's birth flowers on it, and that's the story behind my tattoo, okay? So yeah, that whole thing's been happening. I'm not in love with the church, but it is Dylan's family church, and I respect it, and I go to 3 services every week because I respect it. And yeah, I do what's needed to be done. I volunteer in the nursery when I'm needed. And yeah, I've done nothing disrespectful to the church. I've done nothing disrespectful to that one lady that doesn't like me. But here we are. So yeah, I think it's weird. Sorry, like I said, I think it's weird that he has so much to say now that I'm gone. And I think he picked the worst timing to do it at. So I called my mom. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? She's like, just give it time. Let him think about it. If he wants to break up with you, then you can't stop him. And ever since he texted me telling me that, like, we need to talk conversation, I said, okay, 100%. And ever since then, he's been, like, pretty much ignoring me, being super dry, not himself. Like, it's really weird. It feels like he's already, like, cut off and, like, he's already over it. But, like, I didn't do anything, you know? Like, I just left for vacation. I just left because I needed a break. So he said some of the things we need to talk about is, like, our views on life, which I don't get what that means. But then he said money and the choices we make. Okay, I get money because I do have a spending problem. Completely can agree to that. Completely am willing to change that. But I'm not willing to change so much to where I don't know myself anymore. That's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to lose myself in someone else, because I've done that time and time again, because I'm a very giving person, and I've done that time and time again, and I'm not going to do it again. So you won't catch me dead changing myself to where I don't recognize myself. And his mom is kind of controlling and manipulative, which she always has been, and I kind of knew that when I moved in with them, but she's been like very open to me, you know? Like, she's been very kind and like treated me like another child, and I don't know if like I'm doing something wrong, because like I live with them and they pay for everything for me, so like maybe they're seeing it as like me blowing through money is like an issue because I'm not saving enough, and that was like the whole point in me living with them, was to save money. But I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and nobody said anything to me, so what I'm going back to, I have no idea. But because of this whole situation, I talked to my mom, and I was like, I think I want to go home early. So I'm just going home a day early. It's now Tuesday, and I'm about to drive back. 5.5 hours to drive back. So I'm quite scared, kind of nervous. I don't know what's going to come of this, what's going to happen. But there's nothing I can do. It's out of my hands. It's in the hands of the Lord. Whatever needs to be done will happen. So I'll keep you updated.
Let's talk about the most recent ex while we do my hair. This might be the most exciting story too. We're gonna call her Keek. So how I met this girl, she knew of me because I was talking for a little bit with her ex, and that's how she first knew who I was. And I knew of her because I knew that was that girl's ex too. But she was also friends with one of my friends that I played softball with. So basically my friend texted Keek and asked if she wanted fries while we were cruising this one day. And so we ended up bringing her fries while she was on a walk at 11 o'clock at night. That's how we first met. And then after that, we started to hang out more, me, her, and my friend Lexi. I need to sit down. So then about maybe, I want to say either the third or fourth day of us hanging out, we go and do a bunch of stuff, all of us together. And then I did like her a lot, and she made a move, and then that kind of led one thing to another. We started talking, and then eventually started dating. While we were talking, there was no cheating, nothing. Everything felt perfect. Everything just felt like it was placed perfectly together. Once we started dating right before I had to go to college in Maryland. So we ended up having to do long distance. Long distance, though, it was not that bad. We talked every day, FaceTimed almost 24/7. And, everything was just perfect. She told me, where she was going, who she was hanging out with. And, all this, bare minimum. And, I would do the same. Every single time, I would go home, for college, we would hang out the entire time. There was not a day that we were not hanging out when I was home. And, everything, was perfect. Everything was smooth up until November. So her birthday was in November, but I ended up having to miss her birthday because I was sleeping outside for my Billie Eilish concert. Because I had to get, I had to go, barricade to this Billie concert. Because, you don't mess with Billie. Sorry, but no. But, I ended up making it up to her after. I felt bad, obviously, that I was, missing her birthday. But, I had these plans for this Billie concert for, quite literally ever. everything was fine at, like, while I was at the Billy concert, except, like, so the day that I was waiting, she was being, like, all weird. Like, I made new friends. I was on FaceTime with her the entire time. But anytime, like, I tried to make friends with, like, somebody that was, like, a Billy fan or something, she would, like, get all jealous and stuff. And I would, like, reassure her, and she would, like, still be, like, all mad. Like, she wouldn't say she was mad or that it bothered her. Like, you could tell in the way that, like, she was talking to me, it bothered her. So then the next day while I'm at the Billy concert, you know, like, all my contacts are, like, if I have, like, an ex or, like, somebody that I used to mess with in my, like, contacts, I would just, like, delete their phone number. Like, I wouldn't just go and block it, you know? And so while I'm at the Billy concert, I'm in line, like, with, like, my wristband line, and I get a text. And it's like, hey, are you here? And I'm like, who is this? And they keep texting. I forgot what they all texted me. But she ends up, like, saying who it is. And it's the girl that I used to mess with that was also my girlfriend's ex, too. And I was like, what the fuck? So then after that, I ended up just deleting, like, the chats. I texted my girlfriend, like, right after it happened, everything that happened. And she was mad. Like, you could just tell she was mad. But then I go to the merch line. And so while I'm in the merch line standing there, you know, I'm literally just, like, kind of watching my phone and just, like, looking around and everything. And while we get closer up to the merch, like, to get the merch, I hear my name get called. I turn around. It's her. I'm like the girl I used to mess with, you know? So she's standing there, and I'm like, what the heck? So I go over there. I'm like, what? And she's like, can I come sit with you, all this and that? And I'm like, obviously no. Like, you're not going to come sit with me. Like, absolutely not. And then I, like, walk away. So then I tell, like, my girlfriend, or, like, my ex-girlfriend, Tik, like, everything that happened. And then she, like, will not talk to me. Like, she's like, it doesn't bother me, whatever, but it was bothering her. And, like, I'd rather you say that it's bothering you than lie and act shady or weird. I don't know. So then that happened. I come home, and then around December, I didn't have a car when I was home for college at all. So I had to take my mom's car everywhere. So I took my mom's car to my cousin's house, and I told Keek that I was going to come over to her house, like, after. But then while I'm at my cousin's house, my mom calls me, and she's like, you need to come home. I need my car. So I'm like, okay. So, like, I got to go home. So I get home, and then I'm, like, about to text Keek, my girlfriend at the time, that, like, you can come over here because my mom wants the car. So, like, I couldn't go to her house. Well, she looked at my location, saw that I was going home. And so when I got home and I went to look at her location, it's at her ex's house. And it wasn't just there for, like, a minute, like, she was driving by or nothing. No, it was there for over an hour, and she did not answer me the entire time. Meanwhile, I am blowing up her phone, like, why the fuck are you at your ex's house? What the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you not with, like, what the fuck is going on? And her excuse was, I needed to go grab a shirt. But her ex ended up getting into her car, and they literally sat out there in her car for over an hour and talked outside of her ex's house. And her ex went to go make up all these lies, saying that I wanted her to come sit by me at the Billy concert, and, like, I was doing things, like, behind Kira's back. Oh, there you go. I accidentally name dropped, but I don't care because obviously everybody's gonna know who this is. So then after that, like, as I'm blowing up Kira's phone, I'm telling her, like, I'm basically like, okay, I'm going to bed. Like, I'm done with this. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And she texts me back. She's like, no, you're not. I'm coming over. And she seemed pissed. So I'm like, what the fuck are you going to be mad at for? You were just at your ex's house. What are you mad at me for? So then I'm like, literally laying in my bed waiting for her to come over. I'm looking at her location. She's going, like, maybe 45 in my neighborhood, speeding to my house. And then All of a sudden I hear the door fucking slam shut. She is like racing down the stairs to my room. She gets to my room. She was like, so why didn't you tell me all this and this and this about Rayleigh? I was like, what do you mean I did? And she was like, no, you didn't, this and that. But, like, also, I'm not, like, a really big confrontation person. So, like, some of the times when she would, like, ask me stuff, I'd, like, I don't know. I got, like, scared. I'd, like, go silent. But, like, everything that Rayleigh told her was a lie. So then, after that, I'm, like, sitting there, like, crying all this night. Like, she's, like, she doesn't believe me. Like, no part of her believed me. She believed her ex over me. So then, like, obviously, I'm hurt. And she's like, do you want me to stay or do you want me to leave? And I was like, it's up to you. And so then she ended up leaving. And then we were, like, I don't know. We were, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Because we would, like, talk, like, normal. But it's, like, there was, like, that, like, a wall between us. So then, like, we ended up, like, after Christmas, she stayed with me for Christmas. And then after that, I was at my friend's house. She's like, we need to talk. And I was like, I probably know what it is. I was like, just text me. And she's like, no, I'm going to do it in person. So she ended up coming over to my friend's house and broke up with me. There's a lot more to the story, so comment if you want a part 2.
Put in my 2-week notice at my job yesterday after just 1 month of working there. I've actually never formally quit a job. I just kind of wait for them to fire me. So this was a very new experience for me. So what happens is I walk up to my manager, I give him my checkout, and he says, don't forget to clock out. And go up to him and I'm like, actually, I need to talk to you. He kind of does like a little double take look at me and he goes, what's up? And this was me, like, after mustering up the courage to walk up to him for the whole day, for the whole shift. And I go, unfortunately, I have to put in my 2 weeks. This dude just, like, looks at me like, right, and I understand because I did just start working here a month ago. He's, like, a little bit stunned, and he's like, well, I'm not the right manager for that, so you're gonna have to talk to someone else about this. Okay. Oh, so, okay. I walk up to you for no reason. Cool. But then he, like, tells me, just write it down. Just write it down on a sticky note. Okay, so I started running late, but I'm actually at work now. And basically, he was like, just write it down. And as I'm writing it down, he asked me, is there a reason why? And I was just like, well, you're just not making enough money, like this and that. I thought someone came in. Okay. I'm just not making enough money. And he was like, do you already have another job? And I was like, yeah, I actually have 2. So, safe to say, I don't think they very much like me here anymore. But I'm still here. And I actually think I might pick up some doubles because I feel so bad.
Who cares? I figured I would just come on here and do a quick full story time of what happened with this man who has a girlfriend. So I met this man in March. We went for a coffee date, and I should have known because if you know me on this page, I am so anti-coffee date, and that's neither here nor there, but I caved and went on a coffee date with this man. First red flag. Nice enough time, right? He was moving here to Chicago from California in July. Okay, and this was in March. So we went to coffee, had a nice enough time, I guess. I mean, in all honesty, it was like pretty boring, but I was like, it's pretty bleak out there, so I'll take it. So fast forward to May. In May, he was coming back to Chicago again for some conference, and he was trying to get me to come visit him or see him where his conference was by O'Hare Airport. And I was like, that's gonna be a no for me, sir. Not driving or Ubering to go see you. Like, if you want to see me, like, you can come here. So I told him, like, yeah, I'm not coming there. So I didn't see him in May. Fast forward to July when he moved here. He texted me on, like, July 2nd or 3rd and was like, hey, I'm in Chicago and
whatever, and we were just like messaging, and I was like, I'm really excited for the fireworks, and he's like, oh, like I'd love to join, and I was like, of course, like you can come join for the fireworks. So he must have moved like July 1st here, right? And like moved in and just started getting busy texting people, me, who knows who else. So we spent the 4th of July together, which in Chicago, if you're in Chicago, there were like no fireworks. Like they lit, this is my soulmate. Okay, so they lit the fireworks off, and they never, we couldn't see them because there's like fog everywhere, but I digress. So we got a bottle of wine, and we ended up talking for like 4 hours. And during, like, he really was like, I'm looking for someone to marry, like, because he's in his fellowship for like medical school. So he's like, yeah, I'm like looking for someone to marry. Like, I wish I would have already had kids by now. Like, blah, blah, like, what are you looking for? Like, he was really trying to get to know me and seemed like really sincere and all of that, right? So nice enough time. He did talk a lot about himself, but I was like, whatever. Like, at the end of the night, I was like, yeah, I don't really care if I hear from this man ever again. So, so then I log onto Facebook one day, and I see that someone had posted him, and it was just a picture of him, with his name and age. And I was like, I mean, not surprised to see him here. Like, obviously he's probably dating around. I've only seen this man twice, right? So whatever. But I like commented. I was like, oh, because they didn't say anything. I'm like, are you looking for information about him? Are you trying to tell us something about him? And they were like, I'm going to be going out with him. So I was just like wondering if anyone like knew anything about him. And I was like, well, I've gone out with him a couple times, like nothing crazy to share, like, you know, whatever. Well, then his girlfriend commented on the post and was like, this is my boyfriend of 2 years. If anyone is speaking to him, please message me directly. So I did, like, hello. I was like, yeah, like, I'm telling her, like, everything. So I messaged her and we ended up talking. I screen recorded my whole conversation with him from when I met him, included his phone number in it so she could see that I actually had his phone number, and sent it to her. And she was like, wow, like all of these pictures that he was sending you of just like where he was at or like things he was doing. She's like, even when he moved in, he sent me pictures of his view. She's like, he sent all of these same pictures to me, like whatever. So I was like, wow, right? So I was like, whatever. I'm not surprised. Like the last guy I dated or went on a date with before him also had a girlfriend. And the last guy I went on a date with, which wasn't this guy, is like acting weird, which we're not going to get into that now. But like he probably has a girlfriend too for all I know. So anyways, I gave her everything, all the information she needs, whatever, never hear from him again. I don't really talk to her until actually today. So meanwhile, someone else commented on his post and was like, anything about him? And I was like, well, apparently, because his girlfriend had deleted her comment. So I was like, well, he has a girlfriend. And I talked to her and sent her, like, all of my screenshots and, like, conversation with him. But, like, this man has a girlfriend or did. That's who you're dealing with. Like, he's a cheater, right? So then, fast forward to today, he sends me the messages that are the next two, if you scroll up, where he was, like, politely asking me to take down what I had said about him. And I was like, no, that's gonna be a no for me, from me, like, no way. But also, like, his little, like, slimy, like, trying to appeal and be nice, bye, loser. And then also it's like, he's like, I don't want to be posted, and like he's worried about his privacy, and like everything was like about him. And it's like, yeah, like, did you ever think that like I didn't feel like I'm not comfortable being posted in a group like that? And it's like, well, did you ever think that I'm not comfortable going on dates with men that are in relationships? Hello, like, you know what I'm saying? So whatever. So that was that. So obviously, as soon as after I text him back, like I took screenshots of that and I sent that to his girlfriend, because I didn't know like if they were still. I didn't know what was going on. I don't know if she was trying to work it out or whatever. But it's like, hey girl, like I just want you to know, like, he's doing PR, Chicago PR moves for himself to try to like clean up his relationship or his image, which I have no sympathy for this man whatsoever, because it's just like, guess what? Like, if you weren't running around acting like a slime ball, like, you wouldn't be being posted in that group. So sorry, like, for hurting your feelings by people saying what you did, but like, oh well. And whatever. So I'm just like, whatever. So she did end up breaking up with him, because I did talk to her a little bit today. And also, like, he's like, I don't know if it's legal if I don't have an opportunity to defend myself, like the legality of those groups, or like people talking about you. And it's like, dude, nothing anyone said about you wasn't true. One, and two, please, like, come online and make a video and defend yourself. Let's hear it. Like, tap in, bro. Tap in. So that's what happened. Oh, but the other thing is like, she was telling me, like, she literally, like, helped him move here because he moved from out of state. Like, she still had some of his stuff at her place. Like, you know what I mean? So it just, like, goes to show you, like, I was already winding down from date. Like, this isn't like, oh, I'm so upset about this man, like, I'm never dating again. I'm just, like, over generally, like, all of it with dating. Like, I am taking an indefinite break, and I hope it's a permanent break, because it's really unfortunate, because I really do find dating to be, like, a huge waste of my time now. And I know so many amazing, successful, kind, empathetic, intelligent, wonderful women that would want a partner to share their life with. And unfortunately, like, I can't say the same about men. Like, my experience is so bad, and I would think it's just me, except it just seems to be such a universal experience now. Like, it's every state, every country, like, you know what I mean? So I know it's not just me. But yeah, I'm kind of, like, over it. There's so many, like, more interesting things to do and better uses of my time, unfortunately. So yeah.
Story time about my breakup while I drink this giant ass matcha. Okay, I think I only got like 5 likes on my comment of who wants story time for my breakup, but I'm feeling in a silly, sexy mood, okay? Let's set the scene, okay? My ex had recently gotten a job, a very big boy, good job for him in terms of his career. And the past month, I thought he was stressed from that job. That's the only thing that seemed off, to me at least. I don't know, because he has not communicated anything with me. So I don't know if I was just blind. Anyways, I thought he was stressed and anxious about his job. Okay? Okay, great. That's the scene. The scene is set. One day, he starts getting sick. Me, being a sweet girlfriend, I decide that I'm going to help him and make his life easier. I'm going to get him medicine. I'm going to make him some tea. I'm going to get his stuff ready. Like, I'm going to help him so he has to, like, worry less. Okay? Okay. Anxious from the job, and now he's getting literally physically ill. Not a good combo. So I'm going to help. He comes to where I am. I can't even speak. He comes to where I am and starts breaking down crying. Okay? Me, I'm like, what's going on? And he's crying, like full on breaking down sobbing. I've never seen this man this way. And I'm a little confused, but I'm thinking it's like something happened at work, or he's so anxious about like training and like proving himself, and he's getting sick. He doesn't want to have to take off work. I don't know. Nothing was clocking in my head about our relationship, because babes, why would it? Anyways, I sit down on the couch. He finally sits down next to me after a while, and he's like, I feel stuck. And I'm like, oh, Pookie, you feel stuck? Like, with your job, with your career, with the way life is moving, like, you have a commute now, everything's different, like, still not clocking to me, babe, still not clocking to me. Silence. The silence is broken. He goes, no, with us. Me looking around as if anyone's in that part. Did y'all hear that? Oh, with us? What the fuck do you mean? Shocked, like pure shock, silence. I'm just like, I have no idea what to say. Okay? The only thing he tells me is when it comes down to him, like, pulling the trigger, is what he said, on us getting engaged or him proposing to me, he just can't see it. He can't do it. Mind you, we've been together for 3 years, and all we've been talking about is getting engaged, getting married, having kids, paying off our debts to be able to buy a home, So I'm like, what is going on? Long story short, he didn't really explain anything. I was confused. I was shocked. I had no idea what was going on. When we started really talking about it, he told me the only solution he sees is for us to separate. Oh, me still trying to come from the place of a 3-year partner. Is something going on with you? Is there someone you want to talk to besides me? Is there something we have to work on? Is there something I can do for you? Like, babes, I'm trying to ask all these questions because I'm confused. He basically says that no, we need to separate. Then, as if it couldn't get any worse, the first thing he's worried about is talking about who is going to live where. Because we have a lease, we have an apartment, and that lease is not up right now. It's not up right now, babes. Unfortunately, neither of us, because it's a very nice apartment, neither of us can truly afford the apartment on our own. I can't. I'm on a teacher salary. Okay. He can, but he wouldn't have much extra, if that makes sense. But once he gets into this job, like, he'll be fine. Anyways, this MFer decides to continue asking me about what I want to do. Do I want to move out? Should he move out? He offers me, mind you, this is how I know he's been thinking about this for some time, because he already had all these options laid out for me. He told me that he doesn't want me to have to leave so quickly. So because he's the one doing this, I could stay in the apartment and he would help me pay half and he would go find a room rental somewhere. The fuck? I beg your finest fucking pardon. Mind you, he knows all my finances because that's not something we don't talk about. And he was like, how much would you realistically need to be able to afford the apartment? Babes. My ass is mad now because I have no idea what's happening. And I'm like, actually, no, I don't trust you to do that because you're telling me you're going to move out, but you're going to still help me pay. No. How about instead of getting a room rental and paying half the apartment, how about you just pay for all of it and I'll leave? That was what we kind of like, I kind of came to that conclusion. And he was like, I understand. Okay. The next day, he still had to go to work. I'm a teacher on summer break, so I didn't have to go to work. We didn't really talk that day. I text him in the middle of the day and I'm like, hey, we can talk. We can have a conversation after you get out of work today. And then maybe you can pack a bag and stay somewhere for the weekend because, like, what the fuck do you mean we're going to be in the same apartment when you just told me you don't want to be with me and we need to end it and I need to move out? He responded back basically saying that he was not going to come home and he was going to go straight from work to his family's in Tampa, which is like 4 or 5 hours away from where we live on the other coast of Florida. And he did not come home that night and he went to his family's that week. Homeboy did not talk to me, did not text me, did not call me at all on the weekend. And so my ass was like, I'm going to move out. I'm not going to stay here crying. I am a mess. I was a mess. Don't get me wrong. I was a mess. Stressed, in survival mode, need to get my shit out and move. I called my friends. I called my family. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I got hooked up with these movers that gave me such a great rate. And they were like, we can't come until next week, with like a week after this happened. And I was like, oh my God, no. And then they were like, we can come Sunday. And I was like, period. The whole weekend was packing. Everything in the apartment was mostly mine. So packed up everything. Stressed. Like when I tell you I was not eating, sick to my stomach, I wanted to just lay on the floor and die. But I refused to be one of those girls that was like, oh my God, we can make it work. Like he still loves me. No, babes. Like he didn't explain anything to me. I think he cheated or something, or I think he did something he's like not wanting to say. But whatever it was, I don't know because he won't talk to me. So I'm moving out. Texted him and I was like, hey, let me know when you're coming back on Sunday because he has to go to work on Monday, so that I can be out of the way. He didn't text me all weekend until Sunday morning. And he was like, all he said to me was, it's going to take me 4 or 5 hours to drive back. Oh, period. I'll be gone by then. Movers came, moved all of my stuff out. I'm going to have to do a part 2. I'm running out of time. Movers came, moved all my stuff out. And that night, I had, mind you, all of Sunday, I'm moving and putting my shit in storage because I don't know where I'm going to live. I'm crashing on a couch. He texted me that Sunday night in a way that he has never spoken to me, like I'm a complete stranger. ChatGPT business email vibes saying, I'm shocked you moved out. When are you returning the key fob? So I know you're not coming around. Some communication would be appreciated. babes, you haven't communicated to me at all. You're shocked I moved out. Really? Really? You're shocked? I'm shocked, okay? I am completely bamboozled, blindsided. And you're wondering about the key? Should I post screenshot? No, I'm not gonna do that. But you're worried about the key so I don't come back around? Didn't respond to him that night. The next morning I go to coffee with my friends and they're like, oh my gosh, like you didn't get to say anything to him. You didn't really get to speak anything on your mind because he didn't give you the chance and he didn't really tell you anything. So you should send him a message. Part 2 of my breakup tea. Okay, so Sunday is over. It was Monday morning. I text him this whole long message saying I'm not returning the key until I personally give it to the apartment building. Anyway, send him this message saying that I think his behavior is insane for being my partner of 3 years. It's like borderline psychotic. And I'm telling him I can't believe he's treating me this way and I can't believe this is how he's going to make it make fun. He texts me back that same Monday with a message that's in a completely, it's not the ChatGPT business email style format and font. It's a random, it's a totally different message. Basically him saying he was shocked that I moved out. He's sorry that it's going this way and this is how it's happening when, mind you, he's the reason it's happening this way. In my message, I told him to not act like a hero, like he's doing me any favors by pretending like he went away for the weekend when he didn't even speak to me, because he told me that he thought he was doing me a service because I said I'd be uncomfortable if he stayed for the weekend at the apartment. So he went to his brother's to be with his nephews and nieces and his family, but didn't talk to me. Whatever. He was like, I'm genuinely so sorry from the bottom of my heart that it's going this way. I didn't respond because what am I supposed to respond? Like, sir, you still are not explaining yourself or explaining why you're doing this or how you came to this conclusion or why this is happening now. Mind you, the only reason this is happening right at this moment is because I was being nice and doing something nice to him and it triggered him because he must have felt guilty or like he was taking advantage of me. I don't know what was going on in his brain, but he felt bad. And that's why it all came up when he started crying. Like, when was this gonna happen, babe? If it didn't happen now, were you just gonna keep lying to me and stringing me along? The gag is, in 2 weeks from when this had happened, we were supposed to go to Europe. I thought we were getting engaged maybe, or within the next year, we were getting engaged, getting married, having kids within the next few years. That was the plan. My ticket was non-refundable. Thank God it was in my name, but it's non-refundable. I tried to call the airline. I couldn't change it unless I was going to pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to change a flight. Couldn't get it refunded. So, babes, I'm going to go to Europe. Changed my whole itinerary last minute. I'm so blessed and so, highly favored that I have so many different host families and friends and connections in Europe from all of my time traveling that I was able to stay with them for almost free. Your girl does not have a bunch of money to be going and traveling all throughout Euro summer, peak price points, right before I'm supposed to leave for a trip. So I reworked my itinerary. And at the same time I'm doing that, I'm also trying to find a place to live. Thankfully, and it all worked out, and I believe that it's God's divine timing, intervention, protection, redirection, because this place that I found, it's affordable, it's nice, it's in a great area. I really thought I was going to have to live in some shitty room rental, in a not so safe area, because that's what I can afford. Started slowly moving my stuff in out of storage because I couldn't afford movers again before I left for Europe. I still have so many boxes left. I still have stuff in storage, that's a whole other thing. But then came time to me going to Europe. In that week and a half, since all of that went down, we did not speak. I didn't text him. He didn't text me. I blocked him on all social media. I'm sorry, I will not be the girl. I know I deserve better. My future husband would never treat me this way. I'm not going to be the girl that's oh, I hope he knows what I'm doing. No. But mind you, while this is going on, I'm posting on my story. I don't give a fuck. I'm posting on my story to all of my friends and family that know what happened, updates, what's going on, blah, 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 because I, mentally and emotionally and physically, honestly, couldn't keep up with all of the messages coming to me from people send audios or let's FaceTime, let's call, are you okay? Texting. I cannot update people that much. So let me just update it on my story. So everyone was in the know. So were our couple friends, so was everyone, because I'm not embarrassed by this, y'all. Like, this happened to me and it's a shitty situation, but I'm not going to downplay it, and I'm not going to act like it's something that it's not. Little backstory for what's about to happen next. Anyways, I go to the airport the night I'm supposed to go fly to Vienna. I see him, he sees me. Like, we actually look each other in the eyes, but we sit away from each other. It's time to board. I didn't hear that we were boarding, so the next thing I hear is final boarding call for Vienna, and I'm like, oh, that's me. I'm running to the gate. I'm running downstairs. I'm a couple people behind him in line. Now, remember when I said that I moved everything out of the apartment and everything was mine? I left what was his and the couch and a few other things, and that was it. He only has one little backpack. For 2 weeks in Europe, babes, like, I had a big backpack, but one little backpack ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna cut it. Homeboy had instead of buying a new bag, he had a woman's Victoria's Secret pink and black striped duffel bag. Who gave that to you, babes? Whose is that? It's not mine. Who gave that to you? So I was like, who the fuck is that? But whatever. We got on the flight. I paid to not sit by him. Like, I paid to have a seat that was elsewhere. Like, I spoke to the agent, like, I cannot sit by this person. Didn't sit by him. We get off the plane in London. We had a layover, babe. We needed to take a bus from one part of the airport to the other to be able to get to the next flight. I'm in line. There's like a family or two behind me. And the next thing I hear is, Ashley, I didn't know you were here. Really? You thought I was going to cancel my flight? I give him the most disgusting look. I'm like, he's trying to talk to me. He's like, we really need to talk. Or can we talk? We should talk. And I'm like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. Like, you want to talk now in an airport when I'm overstimulated trying to catch my next flight and you didn't speak to me? No, don't even get me started. No. He was like, can I come stand by you? I'm like, no. He still proceeds to try to stand next to me in line. You know what he says? Instead of saying, like, how are you? I'm so sorry. Like, I hope you're doing okay, blah, 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 blah. No. One of his brother's homegirls, the girlfriends, apparently were watching my stories and sending him things this whole time. They're my ops, apparently, but whatever. I digress. He literally asked me, he's like, I'm just really confused why you're posting on social media. Like, I'm not talking to you when you're the one that disappeared. Pardon me? That is what you have to say after all this time? Now you're only speaking to me because you're worried about what I'm telling other people? No, I can't. And I literally was like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm on my phone. Like, I'm literally texting my friends live updates. Thank God I got an international phone plan. I was texting my friends live updates. I'm like, oh my God, this motherfucker. Thank God the bus comes. I get on the bus. I don't speak to this man. I don't speak to him. But he had this attitude like I was supposed to be speaking to him. Like, I'm the one in the wrong. Like, don't play that game with me. Get off the bus. I book it to security, get through, and I'm in this huge airport with so many people. I find a place to sit. He finds me. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to do a part 3 because this is where it gets crazy. Sorry, it's 3 parts. You guys, this is a lot. And so we're in the London airport. I go to sit down. He finds me. In the midst of all these people, he finds me and sits down next to me. I have my bag next to me, but he sits down next to me. And he's like, please just give me 5 minutes. And I'm like, literally leave me alone. Like, one, I'm overstimulated. I was just on an 8-hour, 9-hour flight. There's so many people. All I'm worried about is getting to my destination and getting away from this man. Leave me alone. He wouldn't listen. He's like, just give me 5 minutes. I go, okay, you have 5 minutes. Go back to my phone and start texting. He's waiting for me actively as if I'm supposed to stop texting my friends and get off my phone to hear him out. The audacity. Anyways, he basically tells me that he's so sorry this is happening and he really thought he was doing the right thing, leaving for the weekend and not speaking to me. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Mind you, I'm trying not to throw up while this is happening. He proceeds to tell me he's really shocked that I moved out. Again, like, why are you shocked, babes? And that he's really sorry it's going this way, blah, 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 blah. At this point, I'm pissed because I told you to leave me alone. You had 2 weeks to speak to me. You did not. You haven't explained anything. This is all happening because of you. So I look at him. I get off my phone from texting and I look at him and within like 60 seconds, I just say everything that comes into my brain. I tell him I don't believe a word he says. I think he's a liar. I think he's a coward. I think his behavior is insane. The audacity, I was like, hold on, let's go back. I gave you the chance to speak to me and said after work, let's talk, and you decided not to. Mind you, this also happened because I did something nice to you, and I was like, what was your plan? For us to go to Europe and play happy-go-lucky vacation, and then you were going to do it? Or no, you're going to do it in what, a few months, a year? Like, what? Don't play me right now. Like, I had to move out, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, like, I'm just giving him a piece of my mind. Also told him, like, wow, when you did decide to contact me, you sent me these business, soulless, ChatGPT style messages. And after saying all of this to him, the only thing he had in response to say was, I didn't send you ChatGPT messages. That's all you took from that? Oh my God. And at this time, like, people are listening around us, babes. Like, we're in an airport. There's people around. There's a guy literally behind us in the seats, and there's a family across from us. Like, it's silent. I go back to texting on my phone. It's silent for a while. And he goes, I don't really know when the next time is that I'm going to get to speak to you. And I'm like, oh, never. Never. Like, we're not going to be speaking. Like, what? Like, what do you even want to talk about? Like, what do you want to talk about? A talk is not going to do anything. At this point, you showed me who you are. You showed me how you feel about me, and you showed me how you're going to behave in this situation. So, like, let's really, like, just let it be done. Says he still wants things, like, he still has things he wants to say to me, and I just keep telling him to leave me alone. He finally leaves me alone. I blocked him on everything, like I mentioned before, except I didn't know that when you block someone on Facebook, it does not block them on Messenger. How was I supposed to know that? I thought it was all grouped together. But he knew that. Okay, he knew that. He sends me a text message. Mind you, at this point, we're not by each other. We're still waiting, like, for our flight. He sends me a message on Facebook Messenger. It goes a little something like this. I'm really sorry. You were the closest person to me for the last 3 years. I'm really sorry that it didn't work out and that it's going this way. I'm really sorry that you felt like there was miscommunication and I didn't want to talk to you. I will respect your decision to not want to speak, but just know I'm always here for you. Are we dead ass joking right now? I was the closest person to you for 3 years? Babes, I hope so. You were planning on being the father of my children. You're sorry that I thought there was miscommunication. You're sorry that I felt like you didn't want to talk to me. Babes, you didn't talk to me. Like, are you actually okay? You're sorry it's going this way because of you. You'll respect my decision to not want to speak. Oh, don't spin it that way to clear your conscience and make yourself feel not guilty or make yourself sleep at night. Babes, this is happening because of you. So don't go around telling people or whatever you want to spin it as that you tried to talk to me, but I didn't want to talk to you and I was so mad. Like, no. Oh, you'll always be here for me? Your behavior says otherwise. I literally read that message on Messenger and I blocked him. I didn't respond. I blocked it. Literally getting sick to my stomach, rethinking about this and reliving it. But he didn't bother me after that. We were at the same gate to get on the next flight to go into Vienna. He didn't bother me. I was in the front. He was in the back of the plane. I got off the plane and I continued on my journey. And that was that. 2 weeks in Europe. When I went back to the airport, I saw him, but he did not bother me. Like, I saw him multiple times. Like, ran into him or, like, was at the gate or blah, blah, blah. Didn't, whatever. But when I saw him, I was like, ugh, he looks rough. Also, one of my host sisters in Spain went to go unfollow him, like, while we were there. So we went onto his Instagram. Now, I don't know what his posts look like, but all I know is his bio did change and his followers went up, 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 up. All of a sudden. Shocking, but whatever. Now I'm back home. I am back into reality, so I'm going through those waves of, like, everything, trying to unpack, build a routine, regulate my body because I've been so dysregulated. In Europe, I was with family and loved ones and friends, so I wasn't really in, like, survival mode, but now I'm back into that. But yeah, that's the tea, and I'll keep you guys updated if anything else happens, but literally so insane.
Story time on how I almost because of the allergy pill Benadryl. Now don't do anything in the video, like I'm actually so serious. I would like to say this was a while ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. So at the time, I was really fond of that little green grass, that little Zaza, okay? But I had gotten caught many a time, and my parents tested me all the time, so I kind of just had to stop for a bit. But you know, I wanted to get. Now I understand how stupid this is. Like, genuinely, looking back on this, I understand, okay? I didn't really do much research either. I just saw on TikTok that if you take a lot of Benadryl, that gets you high. So obviously I was like, okay. I was at the store with my mom and I was like, hey, I'm having some allergies, like, can you buy some of these? And it was just this big pack of Benadryl. My mom was like, yeah, of course, whatever. She didn't assume anything. Why would she? Whatever. So she buys me the pack and, you know, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take some. So later that night, I took some. I think I took about 10 or 15, which is a lot. Like, I just had no knowledge about any of this. But I was like, okay. I didn't really feel much for a while, so I was like, damn. So I took more. I ended up taking like all together, maybe like 20 or more. I don't know. So whatever. So I don't really feel anything. And I'm like, damn, okay. Well, this was lame. So I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed. Mind you, it had been like a couple hours. I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed. And that's what I remember doing. I remember going to bed. There is one thing that I do remember doing. I had like gotten up because I had to go to the bathroom, and I remember stumbling in there. Like, I could not walk, could not see straight. I was stumbling in there, and I remember I had this like Stanley, like, it wasn't a Stanley, but like same like material and stuff in there. I don't know why I had it in there. I can't remember, but it was in my bathroom, and I remember I had like knocked it over, and I kept on trying to pick it up and put it back up, and I kept on knocking it over, and I literally like this was me. This was me. Like, knock it over. Now, something you should probably know is my house has cameras inside. Not in any rooms or anything, but just like around the house, you know? Like just around the house, just for like safety precautions, yada yada. Thank God we had cameras. Whatever, that's quite literally all I remember. I just remember going to bed. I did not go to bed apparently. The next morning, I realized I don't have any underwear on. I do have pants on, an extra on, but I don't have underwear on, which is a little bit weird, but whatever. Maybe I got hot. So my mom came over and was like, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I be? Mind you, I'm on FaceTime with my best friend. But my mom was like, so we have security footage of you walking around the house naked all night long. I'm not even joking with you guys. My mom was like, were you on like drugs or something? And I didn't want to go. I was like, no. She came looking around my room and she's like, did you take any Benadryl? I was like, oh, like I took 2 last night to help with allergies and like maybe help me sleep. I know damn well I didn't take 2. Why did I say that? I have never actually seen these videos of this footage, but I don't want to go wash off my face, so this is the best I got. But anyway, apparently my mom said that basically I was walking around the house like I think I was drunk or whatever. I was bumping into walls. I was talking to things that weren't there. I was literally just like, I was going crazy. I do not remember any of this. One thing I do somewhat remember, I don't even really know if I saw this, but anytime I think of hallucination, I just think I saw like a gnome figure. Like a gnome just like in my kitchen. That's all I can say. Yeah, so my mom was like, she took the bottle of bread, mind you, it was a brand new bottle, and she went and emptied it. And apparently there was like 60 missing. I was like, whoa, like I did not take that much. At least I don't think I did. To this day, I still could not tell you. Like, I really do not know. Whatever, she rushes me to the hospital. I'm fine. I'm just my body's like really sore, like it's achy and sore, which we'll get to that in a second. So whatever. I am just like, oh my god. I talked to the nurse, I told her like how much I thought I took, and she was like, fucking love that nurse. She was like, that's a shit ton of pills, like that's a lot of fucking pills. She was like telling me, I was like, I know. She's like 60. I was like, I did not take 60, I swear. But whatever, they ran some tests and shit, and I just in the hospital overnight. Yeah. The doctor kind of confirmed from just some levels of like, I don't know what it was, some like levels of something, that I had like multiple seizures throughout the night. And my mom said when we were watching all the videos, she'd kind of seen like moments where I had like looked sick or something. I don't know. I have a slight memory, I don't know if this is real or not, of me like throwing up, and I have a slight memory of like how it like felt like throwing up like pills. But again, I do not know if that's real. So yeah, stayed in the hospital for a bit. My parents took my phone and saw that I had every single day for the past bit at school. Isn't that so fun? I was about to pull a Roderick and he's like, that's not me. It was me. I think my mom also told me is I tried to get in my room. They have like a lock on their door just for like their privacy or whatever. Maybe from there. I don't know. Sorry. But I tried to get in there. And in my mind, I think that was me just trying to get in there for like help because I felt like I was dying. I probably was, I don't know. And my mom said that on the camera they could see a picture, like they could just see me. I was covered with my fucking baby blanket, butt ass naked, just curled up by the door. Yep. Also, some things I remember calling my best friend late at night and she was like crying. And I don't know, I wasn't making any sense, but I was just like, oh, you okay? Yada yada, whatever. And then I just hung up on her. And I also called my mom. And I remember, I don't even know why. I don't know, I could not tell you. But I remember I was like, oh, just a missed dial. I didn't mean to call you. And I hung up. I also apparently texted my friends stuff. And like, I was making no sense. Like, at all. It was just gibberish. I do remember one sentence I was trying to be like, sorry, that doesn't make sense. I need my glasses to see. Mind you, I never really wear my glasses, only whenever I'm reading or at school. So that wouldn't make any sense. I was making complete and total sense in my little brain. But yeah, basically I went to the hospital and I couldn't have like caffeine for like so many weeks, which sucks. I love caffeine. Like I couldn't work out or do anything because like I had multiple seizures and apparently like, I don't know. So yeah, that's cute. They actually almost sent me back to a mental hospital because they were like, were you trying to kill yourself? And I was like, no, I swear, I wasn't trying to. I swear. But yeah, I had to talk to a lot of different like professionals and stuff. I was like, no, I swear. But they're like, this is like considered an attempt. I was like, no, I swear. I was just trying to get high. I was a fucking idiot for doing this. I have never done it since. I do not recommend anybody to do this. Even if it seems fun, oh, I'm gonna see the Hat Man, oh, yada yada. I don't remember a single thing, first of all.
So it's not like I even experienced it and I did that. I don't remember shit. It just brought me to the hospital and I almost died. Like, I quite literally almost died. If I had taken just like a couple more, like, I literally would have been dead. Like, it's kind of a miracle that I'm still alive. So yeah, that's my story. The story is to raise awareness. This is not a place where people go in the comments and say, how much do I take type of time. If I see any comment saying that, I am deleting them. This is not okay. It's not an okay thing to do. Like, honestly, if you're at the age where you cannot get access to those type of things, just don't do them. It's not good to start doing rugs. It's not good to do that. Like, I'm an adult. I do it every now and then, but it's not something that you should be, like, using an allergy pill to do. It's not safe, and it's literally, like, that shit makes you dumb as fuck. Like, if you do it constantly, like, it makes you, like, actually makes you stupid. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it actually makes you, like, dumb. And just a lot of other stuff. So please be safe out there. I know I look kind of crazy right now, but please be safe out there. Do not do this. It is not okay. It's not safe. I just wanted to share my story on here. But I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Sorry, I know this video is so long. Mwah.
Okay, so long, like, story time. Everyone's been waiting for it and, like, commenting and all that, but it's not really, like, that, like, deep of one. I was, like, dating this person for, like, around 6 months, and I, like, broke up with them because I, like, wasn't, like, in love with them anymore, and I just, like, thought it'd be best to, like, kind of cut it off. And then I had a girl add me on Snapchat, like, while we were, like, dating, and I, like, never really added her back. And then, like, once I, like, broke up with him, I was like, you know what, I'm, like, gonna add her and, like, see, like, what she, like, wanted. And she kind of just told me, like, hey, like, you know, like, this is, like, what's been going on, like, I'm getting these pictures. And she's like, you know, obviously, like, what type of pictures. So I was like, oh, great, this is, like, fantastic. While we were dating, he, like, lied about his age to her. He was 19, he said he was 17, she was 15 at the time when it started. Also lied about us being broken up, saying that we were, like, on and off. We were never on and off, we were always on. Never had a break or anything until I broke up with him. Was sending them in my bedroom before I got my bedroom repainted and, like, our whole house redone in my bedroom. Like, she could map out my entire bedroom. Lied about that to me and my brother, but I'm gonna believe a girl over you who just lied to me and I first confronted you about everything. So that's, yeah, common sense. But basically that whole video is just about the fact that I got my phone back. Everyone thinks that it's a phone I bought him. It's not a phone I bought him. I don't have money like that. I work at Ulta, so if you think I make money like that to buy my boyfriend at the time, now ex, a phone, I don't have money like that. That was my grandpa's phone, who passed away a few years ago, so I actually had to beg my parents to even let him borrow that phone, and it was only supposed to be for, like, 2 to 3 weeks while he got his current phone, like, fixed, because he was building a deck for his grandpa and actually dropped a piece of Trex deck, or whatever it's called, on his phone, like, literally, like, shattered it to pieces and didn't work anymore. So I, like, begged my parents to be like, hey, like, can he just borrow, like, Pops' phone, and just, like, for, like, a few weeks while he gets his phone fixed. And then his parents, like, thought they were gonna get married and that they didn't ever have to, like, fix his phone, and he thought the same thing. And we had, like, several, like, kind of, like, disagreements, arguments, being like, hey, like, I'm actually getting in trouble with my parents, like, you need to get your phone fixed. Like, it's not, like, something that, like, you can just, like, keep with all due respect. Like, I'm getting in trouble with my parents, like, you need to, like, move along with it. And then, like, all this stuff was happening, and then when I got one of the pictures, I was actually on a run, and I sent it to him, and he blocked me on everything, didn't say anything. So I texted his phone number, which he didn't have me blocked on, but he ignored my message. And I basically said, like, I have all the receipts and, like, everything, which I'm willing to post. Like, if you've watched the movie, like, Obsession, I look like Nikki in it. But here's the thing, I'm not Nikki, but if you're gonna turn me into Nikki, I'll be Nikki. Like, if you're gonna snap your little willow stick, like, I will be Nikki, because, like, I'm not Nikki until, like, you turn me into Nikki. So I'll post the receipts if you guys want. I will, like, block his name out because I'm not, like, that petty. He did move to Arizona. So, you know, he can have his little fresh start, but, like, he's, like, I'm never, like, forget what he did to me. So, yeah. But I had the receipts, and I basically texted him. I was like, hey, like, you know,
you blocking me for something you did with a phone that's not even yours is like crazy. Like the disrespect's crazy. Like I expect the phone back within like the next few days. Like you have until like literally, I think it was like I said like 9 or 10 p.m. tonight, because I go to bed early, I have work the next day, so it was like 9 or to 10 p.m. tonight to like reply to me, or like the pictures are going to your whole family. And then I even texted his friend, because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and even have his friend like reach out to him and be like, hey, like this is what's going on, like dude, like you need to get on it. His friend didn't know what was going on either, because he just thought that like I was a crazy person. So when I let his friend know what happened, his friend is obviously gonna be on his side. Like I don't blame him. Homeboy's gonna stay with homeboy, so you know, whatever. But he like reached out. My ex finally replied to me and like unblocked me, because I don't want to text him on like his phone number. Like I don't want him having my phone number or anything. So we like did communicate through Snapchat, and that's where all of our like receipts and like everything. I have screenshots. I don't give a fuck if Snapchat like replies and, oh, Kaylee took a screenshot. I don't care. I'll happily take a screenshot. I really don't care. So yeah, I have all the receipts, and then I was just basically going back and forth. And he wanted to ship the phone to me, and I was like, no, like that's not gonna work. Like you need to like, the least you do is like, you know, you can owe me like a face-to-face apology, even though like obviously like, I'm asking for that apology. It's obviously gonna be fake, but you know, like it's the least you could do is at least try put some effort in, because you don't really put much effort in like for the relationship. You know, I should have broken up at like the 3 month, but I didn't. I was like delusional and thinking it would like, the longer I stayed the better it would get, but you know, I feel like that's everyone. What can a girl do? But yeah, that's like basically the whole story time. I have all the receipts and stuff. I did end up sending his mom the picture that I sent him that he blocked me. And I basically just like sent her like everything. I was like, hey, like I think you need to like refresh your son's memory on like the morals of his religion, his own morals, and how to respect women. So like I told him I wasn't going to unless I got the phone back, but I did. Because like I'm so sorry, you're not gonna disrespect me like that, and you're not gonna act like all innocent like your parents think you're a little angel. You're not. So that's the short, long-waited story time everyone's been waiting for. It's not really that like extravagant, but yeah, I don't know how many other girls there were. I know for a fact it was one. She said it might have been also with her friend, because her friend was talking about stuff. She wasn't 100% sure. So yeah, but yeah, he says it like was no one else or anything. I'm not gonna believe jack shit. I'm so like, I don't know. But yeah, I was in contact with the girl after, and we were like kind of communicating back and forth. She asked me to hang out with her for like a few times, and then like she blocked me, and I found out that they started following each other on Instagram. So if they're together, good for them, and if they see this, I hope you guys have a fantastic relationship. But yeah, that's the story time that everyone's literally waited like I think a month for, probably more than a month. But yeah, I've just been really busy with work, so apologies for it being so long. And I also kind of didn't want to make a story time either, because I feel like the best way to move on is just kind of not like reopen it, and that's why I didn't really want to reopen it. But everyone's been like asking, so there's my story time. If you guys want more detail or like receipts, like I'll post them. I'll just like blur out names and everything, so yeah.
Do my hair with me while I talk about like the story of my first kiss. I spray my hair with this because it helps it like stay, and I did just do a practice comb, and because I was gonna do pink rolls, and I'm just not going to. I'm just gonna do normal. Well, anyways, set the scene. It's freshman year. I was really lame at the beginning of the year. I had a total switch at the end of the year where I became like really bad, and I did a lot of really bad things. I don't do that stuff anymore, guys. I turned my life around, but I'll tell stories about that maybe another time if you guys want to hear. But it was just not a good time in my life. But anyways, it's the first day, and I moved a lot in middle school, so I went to two different public schools in the same district.
for 6th and 7th grade. And then halfway through 7th grade, I moved to a private school. Well, anyways, so I knew like some of the kids, or honestly a lot of the kids, whenever I came back to the public high school. I go to like one of the biggest high schools in my state. But it was my last block, and I knew this guy, and we were sitting together and just kind of talking. And then he ended up introducing me to some old people I knew and some old people that I didn't really remember, but apparently I knew. I don't know. It was kind of like a whole thing. Well, anyways, my first kiss was among these people. Well, anyways, so I remember we had a pep rally and I was sitting with that kid. We're still friends. For the pep rally, like next to him, and I noticed this guy is like turned around looking at me with the prettiest green eyes I've ever seen. He has this really dark, blackish brown hair, and like they're like hazily green eyes, and he's like turned around looking at me in the way that I've like never really been looked at before, and I was like, whoa, who's that? Well, the pep rally ends and we end up going back to my last block, and my last block was PE. So we're all sitting together on the bleachers, like I am on the bottom, and then it's like 4 kids, and he's a part of the 4, the kid with the green eyes. We're just gonna call the kid with the green eyes the Huzz. So the Huzz is sitting with the group of kids, and like I'm kind of talking to all of them, just like small talking to everyone. My phone keeps falling. Well, anyways, so I leave school and I get a text from one of the guys who's sitting on the bleachers with us. Not my friend, just one that was sitting with the Huzz, who the Huzz is friends with. And he tells me that the Huzz wants my snap and asks if he can give it to him. And I'm like, yes, you know what I mean? And so nothing much really came from it. We just kind of snapped back and forth a little bit. And I remember he like saved my snap and I was like really happy. And then I was going to, like, this is later on in the semester, I was going to like a football game, and this is the first time I called him. And like he was with his friends at the football game, and I would see him a little bit, and we like obviously talked. And I met like his little cousin, but I didn't know it was his little cousin at the time. Like all I remember is this little kid like ran up to me and told me that he was scared that the seniors were gonna like throw him in and that he couldn't see the game. So like I put him on my shoulders. And he said something, and I don't remember what he said, but I was like, oh my god, that's something that the husband said. And I was like, that's so funny. Like this is literally like the Huzz as like a little kid basically. Well, next thing you know, the Huzz and like all his friends like pass by me and they're like laughing and pointing because the kid's on my shoulder. Well, it turns out that's his little cousin. Well, anyways, so I bring his little cousin to him, and we ended up just like chatting a little bit, nothing crazy. And like I went through a phase where I was like, I don't know, I was like really liked him, and he didn't really, like he liked me at first a lot, and then I kind of liked this other guy, and so I would talk to the other guy, and then I'd add him, and then he, like it'd be like a whole like on and off thing. And so it's really bad on and off, and it got to the point where like I talked to like 2 or 3 guys, and I never really like gave him the time of the day in the beginning, and it just kind of faded. But like every time something would end between me and those guys, I'd always kind of go back to him, and it ended up like he didn't really like me, and I was like obsessed with him. And I'm not gonna lie, he'd play in my face a little bit. Like I would be like fiending for him, and he just really wouldn't give me the time of the day, you know what I mean? Like he just was so over it. He thought I was like friendly, and I kind of was, so like I can't even put it past him, or like hold it against him would be the better wording for that. But like it was bad. Everyone knew. I was like obsessed with him. I would like do like I would have literally done anything for him. Like I was so like, cause I got to a phase where like I didn't see anyone else. It was like only him. And we were like low-key friends. He knew like I wanted him. Like I literally said it to his face, and he kind of would never give me like a clear answer. But we'd FaceTime every day with his best friend and play like Fortnite and Roblox. And so like I remember we would have to go on the bus for PE, And like he would never like sit behind me or anything, but I would always sit like near him. Like he would be like in the back row and I'd be like one row up from him, but like on the opposite side. And we'd all kind of like talk every day because again the other like his friends were in the PE class and we were all kind of friends. And then one day he sat behind me and like we were like flirting and like he would have his hands like I would have my hand on the seat and he'd like pick up my hand, like move it, just like flirty and like I don't know, just kind of innocent flirting and just like immature, stupid. Well, anyways, I remember we would do the track, like that's what we'd be on the bus for, was like we'd have to like run a mile on the track. And like one day he asked me to race and I was so excited. And then there was like badminton tournaments and like I would be on his team or like I would play against him and we would all like kind of joke because I used to play tennis and he'd be like, oh, I'm gonna beat you at tennis, like, oh, I would beat you at tennis because he would fry me at badminton. Okay, I'm gonna go through in like 6 pieces. Well, it was a whole bunch of that and one of his friends like did not want us to, like he did not like me, like hated me, would not let us be together. Well, eventually, me and him stopped calling with his best friend. Like, he would tell his best friend he was going to sleep, and then he'd call me. We'd be on group call, or then it would just be us. We weren't on group calls anymore. And then we eventually started going to sleep on the phone together. And, like, it was a whole bunch of just that. And then he played Fortnite with that guy who didn't want him with me, and we would like mess around. And he would like be on the phone with me, and we would like I would pretend to be a girl from like another school who doesn't even exist. And like his friend thought it was so funny, like, cause he knew how obsessed I was with that guy. And like we'd come to school, and I would be like, Huz, why didn't you call me last night? Like, cause he knew his friend knew we'd FaceTime sometimes, and he'd be like, bro, I was on the phone with my girlfriend. And I'd act mad, and then like his friend would be like all like mad about it. Little did he know he was literally on the phone with me. I'm sorry if that's confusing. Well, anyways, eventually I plan a hangout with him, and he's gonna come to my house. And so that day he brings me a hoodie and I like put it on and we're like sitting on the bleachers together, like all cuddled up. And my coaches are happy. My coaches knew how much I liked him. My teachers knew. Everyone knew. And so it was like crazy and everyone was like so happy. And I remember that guy, like that didn't want us together, didn't know that we had like low key been like talking or like, like half together, and he was so mad. I've never seen an anger like that in a man's eyes quite like that. I turned around, like, because we were, like, cuddling up, and he's looking like this. I had to switch angles. But, so that day, he came home with me from school, and we were, like, hanging out for real. And my parents were low-key OD, and they were, like, camping in the kitchen, and we were in the living room. So we ended up walking to, like, the park in my neighborhood at, like, 7:30. And it's December, so there's, like, Christmas lights. It's dark. It's so cute. And we went to the park, and, like, we're sitting there, we're talking. And we're, like, standing there together. And he's, like, looking at me, and he's like, we got to. And my mom had just told me to go home, so I was like, no. Because I thought he was talking about going home. He's like, what do you mean no? Like, oh my gosh, I just got rejected. I was like, what do you mean I just don't want to go home? He was like, no, I was asking to kiss you. I was like, oh shoot, come on then. And we kissed. And that's my first kiss story. And then we went home. And then we hung out. And then he had to go home. But yeah, that's my story. And I'm about to post a makeup tutorial. So go mess with that. I love y'all. Have a beautiful day.
So today, I got to be the villain in somebody's eyes. So basically, I have a special needs brother, and I took him out today, hanging out with him. And basically, like, the plan was, go to this movie, whatnot. Like, I didn't make that time for the showing, so I was like, you know what, I'll take him to this one, but we'll do stuff before because I had him wait. So first, on our stop, we go to Starbucks. I get my little drinky drink. I get him his like vanilla frappuccino that he likes. He likes milkshakes. He likes vanilla. I get him it. He's so excited. He's enjoying it. And then after that, I'm like, fuck, I still have to buy time. So we go to this like cute little like pond like area that's around where, you know, like we were seeing the movie. We take a walk around there, and there's cute little memorials, whatever. I'm reading all the placards out to him with the statues because he wants me to, you know, like doing all that. We finish our walk, and then I'm like, okay, we still have like a bunch of time before this movie starts. Like, I still have like an hour and a half that I have to kill. So we end up going to like an at-home, and this was kind of my mistake because I'm just like, shit. Like, he is obsessed with Halloween. Absolutely obsessed. Anything spooky, anything wizard. Like, he will dress as a full wizard sometimes. So we go in the store. It's not clocking in my head that July is a time where they have Halloween shit out. And as soon as we walk in, I see it. He goes, oh, and I'm like, oh no. Not gonna lie, I'm not balling. I have like no money. I had $10 to my name, and I was like, okay, I can find something for him maybe in clearance that he likes. He likes little trinkets. I'll find him something for like $10. But now he's going through all the Halloween stuff, and like the first thing he wants is like $20. I don't got $20. I don't. I would have bought it for him if I had the money, but like literally I did not have the money. And so he's going around and around looking at all this stuff. I'm offering him like, hey, we can get this today, like 2 items that were like within my budget. And this lady's like walking by as I'm talking to him because he wants this like picture frame of this witch. It's pretty. It reminds him of like Wicked, the pink witch, like Griselda or something. Galinda. I never watched it. I'm sorry. But no hate there. But yeah, he wants this like picture like painting that's like $30 fucking. And as I'm explaining to him, like while we're at that picture, like this lady's walking around us and everything. Obviously he's like special needs. It's like very apparent even to strangers. And like I'm literally telling him, hey buddy, like I can't afford it right now. We can come back a different day and get it. I just need to get paid first from work. Like I'm talking to him, you know, like I normally do, just explaining everything to him. Now, of course, he wants it so bad. He doesn't get why I can't just buy it because like he's always seen me treat him and everything like that. But I'm like, hey buddy, I literally can't buy this right now. I can't. He doesn't want to leave the store to go to the movie we're about to see. Before you come for me saying like, oh, like if I have money for a movie, then I have money for this painting. No, because I get free movie tickets. And that's literally why I was taking him to go see the new Moana movie. So like that wasn't a factor into like my wallet. So then I come up with the idea like he's not leaving. I need him to get to this movie like on time so I can like, you know, like actually let him see the movie and like do something that is doable for the day. So I was like, you know what? Let him take the painting. We're going to let you take the painting. Here's my card. It's going to decline. I walk up to the cashier girl and I'm like, hey, because I don't want like the awkwardness of like, oh, your payment didn't go through. I'm like, hey, like this is before my payday. I can't afford it. This card is going to decline. And we're just going to say it has no money on it because it doesn't. And so she's like, she's got it like locked in, like, okay, yeah, like I get this girl. And so he does the payment. It has the red X on it. So he understands like, oh shit, it's not going through. And props to this worker. I can't remember her name, but she was so sweet. Like she was like, oh, well, we can reserve it. Like she was helping me with him. Like, oh yeah, we'll save it just for you. Like put our name down on it. And was like, I'm going to hold it for you for tomorrow. Cause I could get it like once I got paid. But then he's frustrated and he's like leaving the store really, really, really sad. Mind you, I'm chilling here. Like, I was like, you know what? I have a plan. Let's go to the dollar store. If like this store has Halloween stuff, maybe the dollar store does. Cause that's in my budget. So we go to the dollar store. We find this like book set. It has this falling book thing. It's super cute. It's $7 in my budget. And so I get it for him. And then as I'm walking out with that thing, Like, this lady that was at the at home is now at the dollar store, like over by the movie theater. She gets on to me. She was saying, like, oh, like, I don't know why, like, you know, like, if you're taking him to a movie, blah, 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 like, you can't buy this for him, and, like, you bought this for him, and I'm like, do I need to explain myself to you? I'm like, this is my brother, you don't know, like, my situation, you don't know what, like, I do with him and everything, and, like, just because, like, you feel some type of way, no, like, this isn't your business. So then she goes on, like, I can't remember her exact wording, but it was, like, along the line, like, the logic of, like, oh, like, he's special, like, he needs special treatment, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you don't think he's getting special treatment? I'm like, what did we do before this? What did we do before this? Oh, and she was like, and I was like, yeah, you don't know? I took him and got his favorite milkshake. I, like, couldn't do this. I'm taking him to the movie because I already bought the tickets. And then, like, those are already pre-bought. And to cheer him up, instead of getting him the thing I couldn't afford, I literally got him a replacement to make up for it. And then she's like, well, like, she was still kind of, like, trying to reach for something. And I was like, you know what? Like, if you feel that strongly about him, go spend the $27.14 on that, like, picture frame with the witch. Go do it. You can do it. I'm sure you can, because I can't. I can't. I can't afford it right now. I'm not paid till tomorrow. Like, I can't do it. I'm so sorry. And of course, then after that, she's like, well, I'm not going to pay for your stuff. Then why'd you butt in? I don't want to list, like, why did you butt in? It's not your fucking business. But yeah, so she left all huffy puffy, and now I'm sure, like, somewhere she's, like, blabbing her little mouth saying, oh, this, like, sister was mean to her special ed brother.
I did not expect that video to get as much traction and views as it did, but here we are, so I guess I'll make a quick little story time for you all. I want to start off by saying I'm totally over the situation, not upset at all. I mean, I was when it happened, but now I'm graduating in May. I found so many friends, ways to get involved on campus. That chapter obviously wasn't a good fit for me, but yeah. So I was initiated in the fall of 2024 to my chapter at UK. Absolutely loved everything about that chapter. I loved all the things we did, all the girls. I was so proud to be a member. Yes, we were a bottom sorority, but rankings, I literally do not care. A lot of people thought, oh, did you transfer because you wanted to be in a top sorority? No, that was like the last thing on my mind when I transferred. I was so beyond miserable at UK for reasons all other than my sorority. That was the one thing that made me want to stay at UK was my sorority, but I decided that that wasn't my whole school experience and it would be better to transfer somewhere else. But when I was transferring, I did only apply to schools that had a G5 chapter that I could possibly affiliate with. So when I knew I was transferring, I reached out to the chapter president at UK to figure out what I kind of needed to do. So she connected me with a national advisor who told me that I needed to email the president at UC. So I did. So I was in communication with the UC chapter president over the summer. We set up a coffee date, kind of like a COB thing, so she could get to know me and I could get to know more about her in the chapter. She tells me that there would be a vote at the next chapter meeting, which was a Tuesday. She told me that she would call me after the chapter meeting to let me know if I was in or not. So it's Tuesday night. I'm just sitting in my apartment waiting for that call. I don't hear anything. So I'm like, maybe she'll call me the next day. Didn't hear anything. So a couple of days later, I was like, hey, what's going on? Am I in or not? And she's like, our chapter advisor said we messed it up and we need to revote. And with that revote, you need to come and meet some more girls at our house. So we'll do like a little craft. So I was like, okay. So there was actually another girl from my chapter at UK that transferred to UC, so we both went over and we got to know some more girls. It's kind of like a COB sisterhood event. I thought it went fine. They revote, and that's when I get the call that I'm not in. Like, I have to go early alum. So I just was shocked. I didn't know what to say, so I just was like, oh, okay. And I, like, hang up the phone.
I call my mom, I'm sobbing. I immediately go and start putting all my G5 stuff in a box, which I actually sent back to UK so that way my sisters could still enjoy it, because I mean, I couldn't wear that on campus. So my mom was really shocked and really upset, because like the whole summer she was like, of course they're gonna vote you in, like they're your sisters, like you guys all like have the same values, like love, labor, learning, loyalty, like you know the same things, like you love Girls on the Run, like why would they not vote you in? I also had a 4.0. I was a very involved member at UK. I was in the honors college. Like I had all of these things. Like I also consider myself to be a pretty nice person. I didn't have any character or fitness issues. So my mom was so shocked. Like I wasn't as shocked, because I would like look at their Instagram and I'm like, hey, I don't really look like these girls, and that's okay. But like they could just put me in the basement or not post me on their social media. Like I don't know, or whatever. But I was just really upset that I wasn't able to affiliate, because being in a sorority was something that was so important to me. I really just, the one thing I wanted to know was why. Like I have possible ideas. Like on that phone call, I really wish I would have asked why. Like why would I not be able to affiliate? Like I think I know the answer, but I want to know for sure. The other girl that transferred with me was not voted in either. So yeah, all this video was meant to be was like a situation that just fit the trend. I thought it'd be funny. Situation I'm totally over now, so please don't like send hate to any of the girls in the chapter or like the chapter themselves. I'm sure they had their reasons, whatever reasons those might be. But yeah, I'm like totally over it. It wasn't a good fit. I just wish I was given the choice myself to make it, rather than a bunch of girls who didn't know me deciding whether or not I would be allowed to continue being an active member.
Okay, so a lot of you are asking where I got my happy light from. So I got it from Amazon.
Hi guys, here's the story time of why I was in and out of the hospital for the last 2 weeks. I went to the hospital 3 times, and I'm going to be giving you guys the rundown of what happened and kind of just what it means for me now. So to start it all off, I have been having some really bad like back and stomach pains for the last month, but it didn't start getting really bad until this last week. So I never really thought anything of the back and stomach pains, just because I'm a female, like that's very common for females. And then I also thought like, oh, it's just my period, like I'm just gonna get my period next week and it'll all be fine. It was not the case. That was not the case. So the first time that I went to the hospital, I was actually on vacation, which was very unfortunate for this entire thing. But it started out, first day of vacation on the plane. I got off of the plane and I had tremendous back pain. Didn't know what it was from. I was really weak. I couldn't lift my suitcase above my head to put it in the overhead compartment. And as soon as I got off the plane, I started crying and then went to the bathroom and threw up. And that was the first sign. I was like, okay, what? That's not normal. So a few days later, we go to the hospital. And because I was having severe stomach pain. I couldn't even walk, to the point where it was like I was crying because I couldn't bear the pain, you know. And I've been through a lot, and I have a very high pain tolerance. Like I've been to the hospital numerous times. I'm very injury prone. Like I do 5 sports. I have broken many bones and dislocated many things. But this stomach pain had me down. Like it was bad. So my parents know that like I have a very high pain tolerance. They know that like I usually don't get that upset about injuries and stuff. But when they saw me crying over my stomach, they were like, okay, yeah, maybe we should take her to the hospital. So because we were on vacation, we were driving to a mammoth site to actually do like an excavation and research on mammoths, but didn't get to do that because Mary had to go to the hospital. Like what's new? But the first day at the hospital, or I guess my first time at the hospital, they put an IV in my arm and gave me a full bag of liquids, and they did a CAT scan and ran a bunch of different tests on me. This was basically at a smaller doctor's office, just because it was where we were at. We were in South Dakota and there was nothing around us. So it was a smaller doctor's office, and the blood tests that they ran, they couldn't actually do the test samples at that doctor's office. They had to send it to the bigger hospital in Rapid City, which that will be important information later on. So they do a bunch of CAT scans, and with the scans and tests and stuff, they tell me that my colon was, and quote, impressively inflamed. So my colon is right here. I was having the pain in my central stomach and left side, which is actually really good, because if it were on the right side, that would be your appendix, and you don't want anything to do with your appendix. But my pain was also in my liver, which you don't really want anything to do with your liver either. You don't really want anything, like any problems with anything, but if you're gonna have pain, it's best to have it central and left. So obviously my colon is right here. my colon was impressively inflamed, and because of how inflamed it was actually affecting my liver too. It was like inflaming and basically just like putting pressure on my liver, which is not good. You don't want that. You need your liver. You need everything in your stomach pretty much except for your like gallbladder, basically. Okay. So they gave me medicine and antibiotics for that. But I was like, okay, you know what, fine, I'll take this medicine, it'll all be fine, and then whatever. So I go home to our rental house, and then a few hours later, I go to bed, and I wake up around 11:30 at night with tremendous pain again. Like, I was shaking, I couldn't do anything, like, I was shaking from the pain. It was really, really bad. So, obviously, my mom, she was sleeping in the bed with me because she was really concerned about me, as one would, as a good mother would. Love her to death. I love you, Mom. But she woke up to me shaking because I just couldn't control myself. I wasn't even cold, it was from pain. And she called my dad. She's like, hey, you need to take Mary to the hospital. Like, girl is not okay. Which I wasn't okay. Like, yeah, okay. I told my boyfriend I wouldn't make any more jokes about it, so I guess we're not making any more jokes about it. I'm sorry. I love you, Tristan. But my dad, mind you, it's 12 o'clock a.m. on a Thursday. So it's 12 in the morning. It was just now Wednesday, and I wake up, and it's Thursday morning, 12 a.m. So my dad takes me to the hospital, and this was the hospital in Rapid City. So they had my test results. The other hospital told us that we weren't going to get it till Friday, and I went to the hospital Wednesday. So we go to the bigger hospital in Rapid City on Thursday, and we're like, hey, like, my daughter is not good. She is, like, she's in so much pain, and I don't know what's going on, but we need help. Which was valid. Like, I was, yeah. So they hooked me up to an IV again. They put the IV in my lower arm, thankfully. I love when they put the IV in your lower arm rather than here, because this, you can't bend your arm, it's really uncomfortable. So they put it here. The mark is still kind of there. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so they gave me a whole another bag of fluids. The bag is like probably like that big, and it's just like saline stuff. It was, yeah, whatever. I don't really know. I just turned my heater off, so hopefully you guys can hear me better. But at the second hospital, they actually had the test results. They did draw more blood just to like rerun the test. But then after that, they came in and they told me what was actually wrong, because the first hospital gave me the wrong medicine and the wrong diagnosis. So yeah, the first hospital was telling me that it was Crohn's disease, and like that it was a very, very high likelihood and possibility that it was Crohn's disease. And I'm like, I'm 17 and that is not going to be good for me. If I have Crohn's disease, I'm just like, I'm cooked. So I was very, 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 very concerned that it was Crohn's disease, but thankfully, second hospital was like, no, it's not Crohn's disease. It's just a bacterial infection. And I say just bacterial infection because a bacterial infection compared to Crohn's disease, two completely very, very different scales of things. Bacterial infection, great in comparison to Crohn's disease. Still not good. Like, bacterial infection sucks. It sucks, but like, it's horrible. So they come in and they're like, hey, you have a bacterial infection, like, we'll give you these antibiotics and these probiotics, and you have to take them for 10 days. I'm still on the 10-day course, and it's kind of a lot, but it's fine. I want to feel better. So then they also give me like opioids, which is a pain reliever. I was high for a while. I was high for probably 4 days of our trip, but it was medical reasons. I wasn't. Sorry, but my mom just came in. She asked what I want for dinner. What was I talking about? I don't know, but I do know. They told me that I had a bacterial infection, so they gave me the medicine and everything, and I've been taking that, and I've been feeling a little bit better. So you're probably wondering, how did you get a bacterial infection? That is disgusting, and it is disgusting, and I don't care. It is very gross, but the way that I got the bacterial infection is like a month ago when I got my wisdom teeth out, they gave me an antibiotic. This antibiotic I was allergic to, but I'd never had it before, so I didn't know. I was allergic to it. We kind of just found that out when I got my wisdom teeth removed. So I had a horrible allergic reaction to it. Like, my stomach was messed up, I was throwing up, my face broke out. It was not a good reaction to this antibiotic. So this antibiotic killed all the bad stuff in my body, which is what it was supposed to do, but then also killed all the good stuff in my body. And because of this allergic reaction that I was having, the good stuff could not replenish itself more than the bad stuff could. So all the bad stuff took over and killed all the good stuff. Like, I literally just had bad stuff in my body. And obviously that's how I got the bacterial infection, because the other antibiotic killed everything in my body and then the bad stuff took over, which explains why my stomach and back have been hurting for the last month. Perfectly explains it. Like, thank you. Anyways, so they give me the correct medicine and I take it and everything, and then a few days later we go back to the hospital for the third and final time because I was still having extreme pain and I was really worried about my liver. Because a few days, like 2 days prior to, actually no, it was the same day. That morning that I went to the hospital, well, I went to the hospital that evening, but the morning of, I actually passed out. Like, I woke up, stood up, walked around for a little bit, and then passed out. That was really weird. And then I also, my hands were turning yellow, my face was a little yellow, and that is a sign of liver failure. And we were already really concerned about my liver because my colon was swollen up and it was affecting my liver. So we go to the hospital, they do scans on my liver and everything, they tell me everything looks fine, should be fine. They told me if I have any more problems, then to obviously go back to them. So they told me to just keep taking the medicine and it'll run its course. And they were right, like, it has run its course and I'm feeling so much better. But it was definitely a very scary time for me. So, yeah. Anyways, thankfully we have mostly everything figured out. I do have my, hopefully, fingers crossed, final doctor's appointment on Monday for it. This is going to be a follow-up appointment of the hospital appointments, basically just talking about medicine, what I need to continue doing, what to do if it gets worse, which we're praying it's not going to get worse. And then depending upon how that appointment goes will depend if I need will determine if I need a follow-up appointment for my follow-up appointment. So yeah, hopefully everything is done on Monday. We can just leave it in the past. Bye. But yeah, I would like to give a huge thanks to all my parents, my mom and dad, for all their support. My boyfriend, he is wonderful and has helped me through so much of it. And all my friends and family, like, just wishing me to get better, and all the prayers, and all of you guys, like, the prayers and everything and all the support has been so much help. And I finally ran again today for the first time in 2 weeks.
I took I took some time off to rest, and now it's game time, bitches. You have no idea.
Hi, I'm Keely, and I backpacked Europe for 2 months for around $2,000, and I have a video up about my budget tips and just travel tips in general, so if you're interested in that, go check that out. But I've been getting a lot of questions on that video about where I went and places I would recommend and all that, so this is that. Okay, I'm going to try and speed run it, but we'll see. Okay, I flew into Nice, France from Cincinnati, but I didn't really it looked really beautiful, but I didn't stay there because I just took a bus out, so doesn't count. But I took a bus to Genova, Italy, and I volunteered there in the mountains for a bit, and for 1 week, and it was really, really cool and beautiful. The city itself, I was there for around 2 days, and so cute and adorable. Their little street with all the shops and everything is so cute, and the food is so good, but it's kind of just another place in Italy, so I wouldn't go seeking it out, but if you end up there, it's really cool. And honestly, anywhere in Italy is fire. So, but from there I went to Venice, Italy with my friend. So cool being there and so cute, but honestly don't know if I would recommend it for over a day. Yeah, it's awesome to get lost in the streets, and there's plenty to do for 1 day, but then after that I don't really think you need to be there, and it's also kind of expensive. Also, I don't know if this is a permanent thing or just for the summer, or what the status is on this, but I had to pay €10 to enter the city, which is not bad, but I had no idea that was going to happen, so just be aware. From Venice, we went to Slovenia. We stayed around Lake Bled, but then we hiked and went to other lakes too. But Lake Bled is so beautiful. I recommend it 100%, especially if you're looking for friends while traveling. So easy to make friends. There's so many activities to do. It definitely is more touristy, but it's beautiful, and you can also go to different areas in Slovenia pretty easily from Lake Bled. So yeah, I did not make it to Ljubljana, but which is their capital. But I've heard it's really cool. But I've also heard that is just kind of a day trip. There's not a lot to do there either. So yeah, 10 out of 10 Lake Bled. Okay, from there, we were in Munich for 2 hours. I don't count it, but I definitely want to go back. I'm living in France next year, so I'll definitely be back to Germany. But from what I saw, Munich was really cool. and their food is really good because I got dinner there. So from there, we went to Vienna. Vienna was really cool to be there. I mean, it just feels like so important and like historic, and the buildings are beautiful and whatever. But honestly, not my favorite. It felt like what I said, like really like important and like regal, and I don't know. It kind of felt like an amusement park to me in a way. Really cool to be there, but I don't plan on going back, and I recommend going, but I don't think you need to spend like forever there. If you do go though, I'm sure you can do this in other cities too, but we went to the opera for really cheap because you can get standing tickets. Legitimately, we went to the opera. We saw like a ballet in the opera for €4.80. Insane. Highly recommend. That was so cool to be there. Yeah. From Vienna, we went to Bratislava. Bratislava is really cool to go to. Not super touristy because it's like, I feel like people know what it is, but it's like lower on the like touristy spectrum. I don't know. But that's also like another day trip. You hit the main things. You go to the castle, you go to downtown, go to that like really cute blue church, and then there's like not a bunch to do. But really cool to see it all, and it's a nice day trip, and also their food is so good. Please try a Slovakian dish if you go there, like a real one, because it was really good. From there, I went to Budapest, and oh my god, I love Budapest. 10 out of 10 recommend. There's so much to do, like literally, oh, I miss it. I miss it so much. There's so much to do, so much to see. The people are so cool and nice. The food is so good. If you go get Bodek, don't know how to say it, but so good. I don't know if this is a common opinion, but it's kind of similar to Barcelona for me in a way that it just like feels like a real city, and when you're there, it kind of feels like, unless you like seek out the super touristy areas, it feels like you're kind of living there. Really cool experience. We'll definitely be back. Love Budapest so much. Highly recommend. Next, I took a night train to Split, Croatia. Split is beautiful. I think if I was with people, I would have liked it more. I did not stay there very long. It feels very, very touristy, and you know a place is touristy when there's like a bunch of signs in English, and that was what it was. Just like really touristy vibe. And like partying, which I wasn't like traveling to party, honestly, so yeah. I didn't love it, not planning on going back, but if that's your vibe, like partying and blah blah blah, you would love it, and it's beautiful, it's stunning. And there's like Roman ruins to visit and stuff like that, which is cool, but I just don't know if I would recommend it for solo traveling. I don't know. So from there, booked it to Sarajevo, Bosnia. I love that city. It's such a cool vibe. They call it where the East meets the West, and I 100% agree with that. It's such a cool experience to be there. I had just never experienced a culture like that. Like, I think a lot of people haven't, as you're getting like more towards that side of the world. And so it was just really cool to be there. The people are so nice. The food is so good. It's not that touristy. The hiking is so cool. Oh my god. I had just like a really great experience there, and I would 100% recommend. I want to go back. I hope I do. Such a cool place. From there, I went to Tirana, Albania. So cheap. So freaking cheap. The food is so good. The hiking is so cool. There's not like a ton to do in Tirana, but you can do like day trips out. I wasn't there for that long, so I actually didn't do any day trips. I just hit the main things in Tirana and then did some hiking like right outside the city. But it was really cool. And the fact that it's so cheap is like, it just made me so happy. Next, I took a Ryanair flight to Florence, Italy. Florence was everything people had said that it was. So cute, perfect for backpacking. Obviously the food's delicious because it's Italy. There's a bunch to do. I love Florence, and I hope I go back. And then after that, my last destination was Rome, Italy. Obviously, Rome is like insane to experience. Like, it's so cool to be there. So much walking, so much to do, blah, 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 blah. I loved it. I had heard mixed reviews on like whether backpackers liked it or not, but I really liked it. It was really cool seeing everything. I am a history nerd, so I think that helps things. But yeah. Definitely recommend. It's just one of those places you have to go. But yeah, if you guys want me to go like deeper in depth than what I did, I can definitely do that. But I think a lot of it is just like you appear in a place and you figure it out from there. And a lot of the random places that I went, like I didn't think I was going to go to Sarajevo or Bosnia in general. But people just told me that that would be a cool, like a good vibe for me, and ended up absolutely loving it. So you just like kind of go with the flow and see what happens. That's why you can't really plan out too far in advance. At least I didn't. But yeah, I'm still planning on making a video about what I packed. Haven't done that. Sorry about that, team. But yeah, if you have other questions or want clarification on something, let me know. Also, disclaimer, and I'm putting it at the end of the video so no one's going to see it, but this is literally my opinion. You could hate a place I loved and love a place I hate, and that is going to happen. But just my opinion on the places that I went and what I experienced. There you go. Okay, bye.